Evening, Dewayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Kind of late, kind of dark outside, but we came into the tack shed and got us a Coleman lantern hanging up out here with the saddles. It's kind of cozy, kind of like this out here. Going to go ahead and get a video posted a little bit earlier than what I usually do. Sunday, Mom and I are flying out. Had some folks in Tacoma, Washington call me and ask me if I would come out and talk to some young fellas out there, and so we're going to go try that and go see if we can't not make a fool of ourselves and see if we can encourage these young men. Tell you what, it's been a long, crazy ride since a year ago. 1 year ago, I was getting paid $12 an hour to wrangle dudes on a ranch in Bandera, Texas, and here we are today. But anyhow, I want to talk this evening about a subject that's come up on the channel quite a bit, a subject that comes up among men a lot and young men a lot. And it's a subject that's very much misunderstood today, I think. And women, it's important to women too. You guys always have to understand that when I talk, I'm comfortable talking to men and to young men. It's where I'm comfortable. That doesn't mean that this channel or the talks, the encouragement, whatever I'm doing, it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply. There's not a genre that it's set for, and what I say doesn't apply to anybody else. It's just me, folks. It's just where I'm comfortable at, okay? But we'll talk about respect and the nature of respect. Now, I've noticed there's a big problem in our culture today with definitions. There's a definite tendency that's been going on for years. People just change definitions. They're like water. They just change to fit what they want things to say. And so I'm going to define respect as I understand the definition. And then I'm going to talk about it based on that definition. And so if you get on here and say, I disagree because my definition of respect is something different, I'm not talking based on your definition of respect. Okay, so let's understand that. A lot of times you can understand the definition of a word by looking at the word itself. All right, respect. If you break that word down into two pieces, it's respect. Re means back, over, to do it again, to redo something. Okay, look it up. Spec is a base word that we get spectacles, spectator, spectacular. You see something and it's amazing to the eyes. It means to look. The base of the word means to look. So respect means to look again. That's what it means. It means to look back and to stop and take another look at something, to consider something. If I respect it, I stop and I look at it and I say, hey, this is worth me taking another look at. This person is worth me taking another look at and reconsidering whether I'm just going to pass over them, write them off as nothing, to count them as beneath my observation. That's what respect means. That's what it means. Okay. Now there's different aspects of respect. Okay. And I won't. This is not some kind of college dissertation on this. This is just where I'm at. Okay. There's respect that somebody has earned by their deeds, by things that they have done. All right. And there's also respect for a person just based on who they are. And it might just be the office or the position that they hold. Okay. There's either one of those. There's a respect that we have for ourselves, and there's a respect that we have for other people. And we're going to look at each of those. Now, I know that Mama's going to cover this in a video soon, because the question she talked in her video, and I'm not going to do her video for her, but she talked in her video, and I talked in mine about the respect that spouses have for each other. And the subject come up, what if they haven't earned respect? Well, there's earned respect, but there's also respect that just holds someone in regard, in a higher regard. They're worth taking a second look at just because they are, because of the office or the position that they hold. All right, we'll come to that in a minute. Respect, the first thing I think that's important when it comes to respect is you need to respect yourself. A lot of people who don't respect anybody around them, very disrespectful people, basically they don't respect themselves. They don't hold themselves to a standard of behavior that they consider respectable. And if you can't respect yourself, you're not going to respect those around you. Now, how do we respect ourselves? We set a standard of behavior for ourselves, and then we attain that standard of behavior. Now, what happens when we do that? Some knobhead out there can disrespect you. They don't know you. They don't respect the world around them. They don't respect themselves, and they treat you with disrespect. But if you respect yourself, they don't matter. You look at yourself and you say, you know what? I am a respectable person. I am a person that has achieved this level of decent behavior, and I respect myself, and therefore their lack of respect doesn't matter to me. Does that make sense? So you need to respect yourself. You're going to go into situations in life, and whether you are respectable, able to be respected or not, you're going to be treated with disrespect. I don't know how it is in women's world, okay? So I'm not going to speak to that. But I know how it is in the world of men, the world of working, the world of jobs, the world of things like that. Respect is not easily come by. And disrespect, in a lot of times, is a means of humor. Okay, think about it. It's one of the ways that men will derive humor from a situation, and that is by disrespecting the young or the less capable or whatever. It's just the way it is. It's not right. Maybe it's not wrong. It's just reality. It's just life. And you say, Dewayne, I am a young man, or Dewayne, I am a man who is of lesser ability, and in my circle, the guys that I run with, the guys that I work with, they treat me with disrespect all the time. What do? Well, the first thing you do is make sure you respect yourself. And if you respect yourself, then their respect carries a whole lot less weight, okay? Secondly, make sure that you conduct yourself around them in a manner that invites respect. You can't demand respect, okay? You can't order respect. You invite respect. And then it's up to them whether they give it or not, okay? And the other side of it is you respect other people. Now, we look at that as though we respect them based on what they're doing. But my goodness, no. A human being is a special thing. Now, there are swaths of society today, especially in higher education, that will have us feel guilty for being born because of the lie of overpopulation and the whole climate thing and whatever. And so they try to make you feel guilty for even being born. Okay? Listen, a human being is actually a very tremendous creation. Now, you want to say evolved or whatever you want to say, but we are at the top. Now, do we make mistakes? Yes. But that's just the nature of the universe. The greater the possibility of something doing something high and wonderful and magical, then it's just as possible for them to do something terrible and horrible, abhorrent. Okay? A frog is never going to commit mass murder. A frog is never going to rape. A frog is never going to colonize, is never going to steal. A frog is never going to enslave. A frog is never going to do anything to that depths of evil and depravity. But a frog is never going to write a symphony. A frog is never going to paint a beautiful portrait. A frog is not going to build the Taj Mahal. A frog is not going to go in and build an orphanage and save the lives of all these children who are left destitute because of a war or because of a famine or because... So all of the wonder that humans are capable of, that power is the same power that makes them capable of the great horrors. All right? So respect a fellow human being just because they're a human being. Okay? Respect your fellow man, your fellow woman. Respect them for their office. Fellas, respect your wife because she's your wife. And I don't know you, but I know me. And the fact that your wife is your wife, probably, if you're anything like the rest of us guys, that speaks to her patience and her grace and her love, that she's still married to us. Now, if you're one of these bitter fellas who get on here who just talk down about all women, just don't waste your time, okay? All women are not like that. And I'm gonna paraphrase a quote from a TV show. All right, I'm gonna paraphrase to make it rated G, or at least PG, and it's from a TV show. All right, there's a show on TV, and I don't watch much TV. I get on and I see clips here and there, but there's a TV show that was on for a long time called Justified. All right, with Raylan Givens, and you know he says there at one point, he says, you know, if you and I'll do the best justice I can. If you meet a butthead first thing in the morning, and see that there's my, then you just met a butthead. But if you meet buttheads all day long, you're the butthead. If you had a encounter with a toxic woman at some point in your life, then you had an encounter with a toxic woman. If all the women you have ever encountered have been toxic, you're the toxic one. Okay? Let's look at reality. So respect your spouse. Listen, when you became married, two became one. You're now one. The marriage, the joining. If you disrespect your husband because in your eyes he hasn't earned your respect, you're disrespecting yourself, because the two of you are one. You're in this marriage, you're disrespecting half of your marriage, and you're disrespecting yourself. Okay? It's respect. Not all respect has to be earned.